Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're setting our sights on something pretty special, an object that really nicely marries traditional watchmaking with some seriously cutting-edge tech. And fittingly, a bit of cosmic inspiration too. We're diving into the Orion Moonphase watch. And what grabs you immediately, I think, is its connection to the NASA Artemis program, the one aiming to get humans back on the moon by 2027. This watch promises a, quote, astonishingly lifelike luminous moon disk. That's quite a claim.
It really is. And Moon is a French independent brand, pretty new, founded in 2021, and they specialize in moonphase watches. So our mission today really is to figure out what makes this moon look so, well, real. We're going to get into the tech, the really careful process behind it, and, why this focus on visual realism matters in watchmaking today, especially when others might be chasing purely mechanical accuracy.
Okay, so how do they pull this off? The Meduan Orion. It's joining their 2025 lineup now after a successful Kickstarter run. Built from 316L stainless steel, which is pretty standard, durable stuff. The case looks quite traditional, actually. Thin, polished bevels on the lugs, the bezel. It sets a nice stage for the dial. And the dial itself, it's got this interesting three-part thing going on. Applied hour markers that sort of float above a recessed, textured bit.
Just a nice touch. It frames that moon display really well. And that display, the moon, that's the star of the show, obviously. The process they developed, they worked with AJS production specialists in miniaturizing watch parts. It's genuinely innovative stuff. It actually starts with a Super-LumiNova sticker. The glow-in-the-dark material.
Really?
Yeah, hand-applied to a thin metal base. They chose that method specifically to get a perfectly uniform layer of lume. That's, critical for what comes next.
Right, so you need a perfect glowing canvas to start. Makes sense.
Exactly. Then, after that sticker is down, they hand-apply different colors of acrylic paint, layer by layer, with a microspray gun.
Okay, so building up the color and detail by hand.
Right, creating this detailed, sort of multicolored base. But the real magic, the spectacle, starts with the femtosecond laser engraving.
Femtosecond lasers.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard of those. Weren't they first used in, medicine, microsurgery?
Precisely. And precision optics, too. Developed back in the 90s, they emit these incredibly short pulses of light. We're talking quadrillionths of a second short.
Wow.
Yeah. And because the pulses are so short, they can ablate, basically remove material without heating up the surrounding area. No thermal damage, no cracking, super precise. So this laser cuts into those paint layers they just applied. It carves out this incredibly accurate picture of the moon, craters, textures, all of it. Set against a star field, even shows the Orion constellation.
And the precision level.
It's astonishing. They can engrave details down to a single micron.
A micron, that's 0.0001 millimeters.
Exactly. They remove individual paint layers to get the different shades for the moon and the night sky. It's like sculpting on a microscopic level.
Incredible. And it all glows, right?
Oh, yeah. They use BGW9 Super-LumiNova, that's the bright blue glowing kind across the dial, hands, and of course that amazing moon disk.
They say you really need a loupe and to look at it in the dark to fully appreciate it.
You really do. That's when the texture just comes alive. It's not flat at all. It's this detailed, glowing, almost 3D thing.
So what's actually driving this? What movement are they using?
It's a solid choice, actually. Bennual Wynn's Sellita caliber SW288. It's basically a hand-wound version of the very reliable SW200 automatic, but with an integrated moonphase module.
Okay, so reliable. Is the moonphase itself super accurate then?
Well, mechanically, it's pretty standard for this price point. It uses the typical 29.5-day cycle, so it'll need adjusting every couple of years, like many moon phases. But that's kind of the point here, isn't it? The focus isn't purely on hitting some new benchmark for mechanical accuracy. It's all about the visual representation.
The artistry of the disc itself.
Exactly. And interesting detail, if you look through the display case back, the movement bridges have this unusual linear pattern. Kind of looks like solar panels.
Huh. Adds a modern touch.
Yeah, a nice little nod to the tech theme, perhaps.
So wrapping this up then, the real pull of the moon Orion, it seems, is just how dedicated they are to making that moon look as real as possible.
Yeah.
That focus on, photorealistic art really sets it apart from watches just trying to engineer a more mechanically precise moon cycle. It's like they want you to feel like you're holding a tiny piece of the moon.
That's a great way to put it. To sum it up, you've got this innovative use of femtosecond laser tech, borrowed from, surgery and optics, engraving down to a micron. Combine that with careful hand application of the loom base and the acrylic paints, and you get this incredibly textured moon that really comes alive, especially, as you said, in the dark.
It really is a fascinating mix of high-tech science and detailed hand craftsmanship.
Which brings up, I think, a pretty interesting question for you, the listener, to think about. How does this kind of thing, this blend of extreme miniaturization, making a hyper-realistic moon you can wear on your wrist, how does that connect to our, ongoing human fascination with space, our drive to explore, to understand the cosmos, and maybe even to carry little pieces of it with us? It feels like it's about more than just telling time, right? It's maybe about capturing and keeping close a little piece of that wonder.